do, you know, the work of those additional and pick up the slack. The previous year, let me finish, the previous year, okay, they took furlough days, paid for their benefits, okay, and collecting at a 0%. So in 2 years' time, we thought that, you know, to keep up morale, spirit, having people do above and beyond the duties that they're supposed to do, that it was a prudent thing to do, to give them a raise because of their effort, because we're not going to hire and replace those people, and we're going to continue to ask those people to do the extra duties.
Okay.
I thought it made sense
and
as a business
that's true
purpose.
in all industries. I mean, a lot of people are just fortunate enough to have a job. But I just find that downward. And when had they had an increased layoff? Do they automatically get a cost of living increase per se?
Yes, ma'am. I just explained to you.
So they get a raise, anybody who was left got a raise?
Everybody last year, or this year, I guess it is, okay, got that raise for exactly the reason I just explained.
But moving forward, we're all talking about possible layoffs starting January 1st. Moving forward, the same people that you just brought up, the non-unit people that got it raised for this existing year as all of our contracted people. I'm surprised nobody asked this question, so I'll throw it out there. The amount of money collectively that we're asking the police, public works, and everybody that we talk and question, even the non-unit people, was broke down with how many people were in those units, what their salary averaged out to, and they did a percentage to make it fair and equal across the board, depending upon those things. Now, I'm not the CFO. Mr. Crane is. Mr. Crane and Mr. Prohusky worked on this thing and whatnot. So the non-unit people going into next year, and we didn't talk about layoffs because they don't have a contract. They're going to be told. We have to sit down with Township Committee. Mr. Prohusky's going to make a recommendation to do this, that, whatever. But quite frankly, their raise or any kind of a raise will be minimal at best. Okay. Ultimately, the decision's up for Township Committee whether we're going to do that, and that's going to be basically decided by what's left in the pot, if anything. And if there's nothing left in the pot, they're not going to get a raise. So
okay.
we try to be fair across the board.
Okay, so there have been no new hires.
No.
And there were no full-time jobs created in the past several months.
No.
And everybody who's left has
last couple of years.
Last couple of years, so nobody has been hired. How do you get a job when you're looking for help? Where do you customarily advertise?
Depends what it is, ma'am.
Okay.
If it's a skill, it has to go through civil service.
Okay.
There'll be a notice put out. People will apply. Civil service will turn around and give us a list, and it'll go from one to whatever. And we just have to pick from the top and start interviewing
Oh,
at the top.
okay, so on a civil service exam, if you had candidates who had passed a particular test, the way it goes is you pick from the top, right? So if...
There's a thing called the rule of three. You pick either a 1, 2, or a 3.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
And veterans have priority.
Veterans, so, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. My name is Janet Forrest, 1542 Tinsman Avenue. I have a question I believe indirectly affects the police department, or at least the budget here. I understand the police officers recently have side work,
Yes.
and it's contract 60,
You bet.
and we're making money off of that because we're charging an administrative fee.
You want to know?
Well, and this is my question. Are we? Is it being allocated to help keep?
Mr. Prohusky will explain where that.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's never been broken down, so.
No, it isn't. It's a good question. I'll give you the answer. Since it's been inception since January, or since February, really January, and the officers made $455,000. The township made $189,000. Of that $189,000, we had $316,000 of workman's comp claims from the police officers, which left us, when we take out the 189, that still have a deficit of $126,000 we have to pay back.
Okay, just wondering. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Please come on up, state your name and address.
Joanne Gordon, 8,000 Wyndham Road. I know we've had a freeze on hiring for the police department. I have a daughter who took 2 civil service exams, and, she's been told that. But during that freeze, how many police officers have we lost to retirement?
5.
5. So we're 5 down already.
Yes, ma'am.
And the money, the savings from them 5, because they weren't replaced, is minimizing this situation to a
Right.
certain degree. If it went out and we hired them, we'd be in a lot
Oh,
worse
I'm not
condition.
here for
No,
that.
I'm just.
I'm
I
just
think it's
worried
something
that we
that's good.
have, if we go 6 more down,
Mhm.
then we're 11 down.
Well,
And-
that's why we're all working together. I think we all need to keep an optimistic viewpoint, say a lot of prayers, that we can come to some kind of agreement that we don't need to do that. Listen, none of us, I want to say this, none of us up here, nobody in this room, want to put an officer out there worried about whether he's going to get laid off or not between now and then. I would like it to be resumed as soon as possible. And the other thing is, we don't want to have a shortage of officers out on the street where it jeopardizes their safety and well-being more than it does now. I won't want that for my child, I don't want it for your children, I don't want it for our neighbors. A lot of us have relationships with the people in the police department. A lot of us, Mr. Taylor, through schooling, through education, myself and Mr. Grahusky through coaching at PYAA, these are extended family to us. And listen, I'm glad you brought that point up, but that is
Now,
a
we
very
depend
important
on
one.
them.
We certainly do, and our proximity to some of our neighbors, they are invaluable. And listen, this isn't taken lightly. I'm glad the community came out today. I'm glad the community is concerned. We're all concerned. We're all concerned, okay? Because it's an important issue. Anyone else have any other questions about the police? Possible, and ask me possible layoffs. Come up.
Matt Henkel, 2415 Brandy's Avenue, Winston, I'm also the president of the FLP here. Mr. Krosky just sat here and talked about money that was made in side work, and that's true. I'm not so sure his numbers are correct, but I'll agree to that if they might be. He also spoke about workman's comp claims. Is it not true you're self-insured for workman's comp?
That we're self-insured.
Correct. So for us to bear that burden for workman's comp claim is unfair. It's not our responsibility that you chose to be self-insured in workman's comp claim, that we should be held responsible for you having to pay workman's comp claims. You made that decision to be self-insured, not us.
No doubt.
So to hold that against us, to kind of skew those numbers, to make it look like we're being greedy here, or we're not making you money working side work, is unfair.
Excuse me, I just want to say one thing. From me and members of Township Committee, we don't think anybody's being greedy here. And those numbers is, we are self-insured, the numbers are what they are. I don't think he meant that to go, that's a fact, that's a cost that we have to do, Matt, plain and simple. If we weren't self-insured, those numbers would be a lot more money, because the insurance company would be taking their percentage of profit and this, that, what are on top of that. And it's just another thing. I'm not going to put words in Mr. Brodsky's mouth, but I would like to think, and he can comment on this, that if it was the Public Works Division that had X amount of workman's comp, if the EMS had X amount, that's not, everything, we kind of, each group, we have costs associated with those groups, okay, and we have to figure them in that way. I don't know if that helps you, makes you feel any better, or you still feel the same way.
The point is, Matt, and here, the point was, it was just a matter of finances. People are saying the township's making money. It's $189,000. You know as well as I do, the cost of running those cars because gas is going up, the cost of repairs is going up. That $189,000 is not going to be able to offset what our problems are. And that's all that was, because it comes down to a matter of finances, because now, even with the workman's comp, we're still in the hole. And that's the whole point. It wasn't meant to say that I'm saying something about the police. You should know me better.
Because if that was on the plus side and was generated, to be fair, but the statement I just said, and we had some extra money in that, I certainly would like to think that my fellow committeemen here would throw that into the pot to make it easier to keep you guys on the street, Matt. And I think you know that in your heart we would do that. Fair enough? Thank you, sir.
Jack Force, 1542 10th Avenue. I just want to clarify some numbers real quick. My understanding is, when they do side work, the company pays for the police officer, you get an administrative fee. Do they not also pay for a car to be there?
Yeah, it's $25. It's $25 for the administrative fee and the car.
Okay, okay. So that number that you, that 180 some is the administration
Yes.
and the car fee? Okay.
Come on up, sir.
I wasn't going to speak. Joe McHugh, 2760 Colonial Avenue, Pennsauken. I guess this workman's comp, I'm in business, and I have a question. I do some of this sort of work. Sometimes I have to subcontract personnel to come and do things for me in my business relations. I have insurance, so if I see a Verizon truck with a Pennsauken police officer sitting behind it, isn't Verizon's insurance covering him? How is it that the township would fall a burden of, he's injured, he gets hurt on the site. That contractor doesn't have insurance?
He does, but it's a liability insurance. We have workers' comp if they get.
But if on the job, not on the site. If it's on the site, those expenses should fall onto the contractor, correct?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, our workman comp issues aren't directly related to the sidewalk
Right,
police
that's
officer.
not-
All right, that's the total, okay.
That's just the cost of police work aside from side jobs that somebody.
So the side money that comes in, basically, should be
Offsets.
cleaned, right, after you pay for gas and the use of the vehicle and whatever, administration fees. Okay.
The whole point is that it's not that if the police officers make money on the side jobs, that this pot of money's put over here saying, well, that's just for the police. It gets put into the big pot.
Understood.
And it comes out of the funnel and whatever, which way. So one could offset. If we get additional monies from the court costs, it may offset an overrun somewhere else.
Okay.
So that's how it all goes out.
Okay. I just was a little confused. Thanks.
It's all right. Anybody else have any other questions? Please come on up. I'm going to take a wild guess. Sarah Coffey? What's your address?
3463.
Sally, I'm
South
sorry.
Shore.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a numbers person, and the money I don't understand, but I want to ask that question. Let me get it straight in my head. So you have this, oh, well.
If you want to sit down and come back up,
Okay.
we can bring you
All
back
right,
up.
Bill Worth, I would recognize if he's not here. Were you talking about you have a chief financial officer?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Ron Kramer.
Is he here?
No.
Okay, so, okay, he develops all our budgets and approves all the expenditures, is
We
that what it
work,
works?
between Ron and I, we work together.
Okay, all right, because in looking at the various candidates available for election and everything, you look into the history, okay? Now, there's only one incumbent committeeman who's running for office, but there's nothing there that speaks to his professional or his academic background. So, for instance, our financial person.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Ms. Coffey. It's a public meeting, it's not a political forum.
No, I'm
So if
just
there's a
asking.
question dealing with a public issue,
Oh, okay.
we try not to get involved in political related matters at a public meeting.
Oh, right, I'm sorry. So the financial information is available to the general public and
Yes,
everything?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you can just request it?
You go over request, that's the state format, you just fill out an over request and we'll
Okay.
give you whatever you're looking for.
Okay. But it's
You
you
go
and
to
the
the
other
clerk, you go to the clerk's
Oh, the
office,
gentleman on the end?
yeah, you go to the clerk's office.
Gene,
and
raise
fill out
your
the
hand.
over-
Oh, gee, okay. He sells me my license.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Anyone else have any questions?
Hi, good afternoon. John Wackus, Giffens Avenue, Collins Tract, Pennsauken,
What's your number of your house?
6748.
Thank you.
I want to know where all the money's going in this town. You talked about Christie's property tax cap of 2%.